when did you start realizing that the way you were pursuing him was not necessarily fulfilling and filling you
Yeah.
up the way he wants to fill us up as a perfect
Hmm.
father does?
For sure that it would be when I met Amy
Yeah.
in college. Um, it was when I just saw this genuine, just this sincere love for Jesus there was this innocence about her, but
Hmm.
also it was not about performance or anything. It was not about her church attendance. It was not about whether or not she was a member here or there, whether she missed or not.
Hmm.
It was just this relationship, this authentic relationship with Jesus that I was just drawn to her walk with him, and I
Hmm.
learned from her. I tell people she led me to Christ, really,
Hmm.
in terms of that relationship
That's
too,
awesome.
because I saw it with my own eyes. And one of the things I think drew me to her was she had someone in her life that she loved and needed more than me,
Hmm.
and it drew me not only closer to her but closer to that person, which is Jesus.
Yeah, man, that's cool. That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true, man. I mean, it's funny. I've shared here lately. It's all through my journals over the last month and a half. Is this desire to be desperate,
Yeah.
and I wrote it down and I prayed it the other day. And I got scared when I wrote it down. I was like,
Yeah.
I just want to be desperate for you next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wrote it down. Like I said, I wrote it down. And I was like, okay, what did I just write down? What did I really just ask God to
Yes.
do in my life?
Mm-hmm.
But I want that. And it's so cool that you got to see that in your future wife at the time. I mean, at the time it was just someone you were dating,
Yeah.
and just the impact that had on your life, and then just the trajectory,
Yeah.
knowing, hey, I got a perfect plan.
Yeah. And she's always had that. It's just so cool how God puts you together with your spouse, just because her love for she served the church, she served Sunday school since she was young, and
Hmm.
her mom was like a loved Sunday school teacher, um, and so it's just to see that genuine love for Jesus. It challenged me. It
Hmm.
really did, and it challenged me to um, not just pursue her, but pursue the Lord.
What was that
And
like for you? What was that journey like for you? Kind of learning how to pursue. What were some of the things, the struggles, challenges, I guess, you saw in that process?
yeah, well, I mean, it's natural for us to want to see results or
Hmm.
see fruit of it, but it's the whole point of faith is um, you may not see it, but you trust that it's about a relationship. And I mentioned this. One of my favorite quotes is, "Religion says I messed up. My dad's going to kill me.
Hmm.
But relationship says I messed up. I need to call my dad."
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes, period, just
Hmm.
because it summarizes the the impact that our relationship with the Lord has, and
Hmm.
it's knowing Him, growing in Him, talking to Him, listening. Hello,
Hmm.
listening to Him, reading about Him. Just the journey became about a person,
Hmm.
and that's when things started to shift for me. It wasn't about a church or an attendance or a denomination.
Hmm.
It was about a person.
That's good. I have a series of questions I ask most mornings during my quiet time, and one of the questions is, "Hey, Jesus, what do you think of me as a man?"
It's
And
great.
I ask guys this, with whether in my small group or whether it's a coaching client that I have, and I'm like, "How do you think God's going to answer that?"
Mm-hmm.
And I always get this, "Well, hey, you need to work on this." And I'm like, "Hold on, hold on." I said, "You're a dad, right?" And they're like, "Well, yeah." I said, "What would you tell your son?" "Oh, he's awesome. I'm proud of you. You can crush the
It's
world. Like
great.
you have every." And I'm like, how much more perfect is your heavenly Father?
It's great. Yeah.
So why is he going to tell you you need to work on this?
Yes.
And so for me, when I started going through, and that's just I have like 6 questions I ask, and they're clear. Hey, Jesus, this. Um, and it has evolved my relationship with him to
Mm-hmm.
literally that space of I'm pursuing a person.
Yeah.
They 100%.
Yeah.
I talk with them like he's
Yes.
sitting in that chair over there.
That's right.
And I look, and I am not saying like sometimes I hate saying it because I feel like guys are like, man, it'll never be that way. I'm like, bro, it took years to get to where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
Like years. And there's still so much more that I want.
Yeah,
So I encourage you, listen, just start, you know?
absolutely.
And if you do that, it gets better.
And if you have children, your kids are directly impacted by the version of Jesus that you see, that you serve, that you portray in your home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they, yes, they have a responsibility to grow and have their own personal relationship, but it really begins how they see you and him interact and talk, and how you portray him as well. And so you're exactly right. It has to become about a person.